A few years ago, I met a lady called Clara. At 72, she walked through the park every day with light steps and a peaceful smile on her face. While many of her age complained of pain, stiffness, and dependence, she seemed to have made a silent agreement with time to grow old, yes, but with freedom. One day, curious, I asked, "What's your secret?" She answered simply, "It's on my plate." The truth is that many of us associate getting older with suffering. But what if some of the pain we feel, especially from arthritis, could be relieved with natural, affordable, and surprisingly powerful foods? Today I'm going to show you 5 sources of plant protein that can help your body reduce inflammation, relieve joint pain, and regain mobility. These are foods that truly nourish, fight swelling, and help protect muscles, bones, and cartilage, all without the side effects of medication. You may already know some of them, such as lentils, chickpeas, and tofu. But today we're going further. You'll also discover the hidden benefits of quinoa, a whole grain that many still ignore, and pumpkin seeds, small in size but giants when it comes to joint health. These 5 foods work together as a veritable natural army against pain. They provide clean proteins, powerful antioxidants, essential minerals such as magnesium, zinc, and iron, and even balance blood sugar levels, a crucial factor for those suffering from chronic inflammation. If you've ever felt frustrated when you wake up with stiff knees, pain when holding a glass, or difficulty climbing stairs, this video is for you. We're not talking about miraculous promises. We're talking about science, nature, and smart choices. Glossario. Stay with me until the end, because what you're going to learn today could transform your diet and the way you live your next few years. Have you ever heard the phrase, "You are what you eat"? In the case of arthritis, this idea has never been more true. Joint pain, stiffness when you wake up, and swelling that limits movement don't appear by chance. They are reflections of an inflammatory process in the body, a process that can be intensified or alleviated directly by food. Studies published in 2021 by the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine confirm that diets high in red meat, ultra-processed foods, and refined sugar tend to increase levels of chronic inflammation. The inclusion of plant proteins, on the other hand, has been shown to have the opposite effect, reducing inflammatory markers and improving joint mobility. But why is that? Functional plant proteins, such as those found in lentils, chickpeas, tofu, quinoa, and pumpkin seeds, are rich sources of nutrients that not only support the muscles, which are essential for protecting the joints, but also provide bioactive compounds that act directly to control inflammation. For example, magnesium, which is present in large quantities in these foods, has a proven action in modulating pain. It helps relax muscles, reduces spasms, and improves sleep quality, essential for those who live with constant discomfort. Another key nutrient is zinc, found in pumpkin seeds. Zinc participates in cell regeneration and strengthens the immune response, which helps control inflammatory attacks common in cases such as rheumatoid arthritis. And there's more. Unlike animal proteins, which usually come with saturated fats and compounds that increase oxidative stress, vegetable proteins offer fiber, natural antioxidants, and phytochemicals such as soy isoflavones, which reduce joint stiffness and improve flexibility. All this without overloading the liver, kidneys, and intestines, organs that are often sensitive after 50. Including these plant proteins is not just a nutritional choice. It's an act of self-care based on science, tradition, and respect for your own body. It's common to think that in order to take care of joint health, relieve chronic pain, and improve quality of life, it's necessary to invest in expensive supplements, complex therapies, or specialist consultations. But the truth is that the solution often lies in simple, everyday choices, starting with what we put on our plates. Affordable food doesn't just mean spending little. It means choosing foods that, as well as fitting into the budget, offer high nutritional value and real benefits for the body, especially for those who live with constant inflammation, such as arthritis. Let's think about it. A portion of lentils costs less than a cup of coffee in many cities. The same goes for chickpeas, tofu, or pumpkin seeds bought in bulk. As well as being economical, these foods are rich in protein, minerals, and anti-inflammatory compounds, and can make several meals. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, regular consumption of legumes can reduce the progression of chronic inflammatory diseases by up to 20% when compared to diets rich in processed animal protein. In other words, we're talking about simple ingredients with a direct impact on your mobility and well-being. Another important point, these foods are versatile. You can use lentils to make soups, salads, or vegetable burgers. Tofu can be grilled, sautéed, or even included in lactose-free desserts. Quinoa is a much more nutrient-dense substitute for rice, and pumpkin seeds can be added to salads or quick snacks. Investing in affordable food is, in practice, one of the safest and most sustainable paths for those seeking joint health without compromising their pocketbook. It's not about following trends or fancy recipes, but about reclaiming the power of real, simple, nutritious, and efficient food. The real revolution against pain begins with a pot on the fire and a conscious choice. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have more energy, less pain, and age with much more vitality, even without resorting to harsh medications or expensive procedures? The answer may lie in a concept called functional nutrition. Unlike conventional nutrition, which focuses only on calories, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, functional nutrition analyzes how each food acts in the body, not only to nourish, but also to balance functions, prevent diseases, and even reverse inflammatory processes. For those who suffer from arthritis, this makes all the difference. When you consume, for example, lentils or chickpeas, you are not just ingesting protein. You are delivering it to your body, fibers that control glucose, magnesium that relaxes the muscles, and folate that regulates homocysteine, a compound linked to joint inflammation. In the case of tofu, functional nutrition looks at the natural phytoestrogens from soy, which behave similarly to human estrogen, especially beneficial for postmenopausal women, a phase in which arthritis symptoms tend to intensify. A quinoa, in turn, is a complete source of vegetable protein containing all 9 essential amino acids. This makes it ideal for muscle repair and tissue regeneration, which reduces the strain on the joints. His pumpkin seeds? In addition to providing zinc and iron, which are essential for bone and immune health, they contain tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin, which can improve mood and sleep, 2 factors directly linked to pain perception. In other words, when we talk about functional nutrition, we are talking about feed the body intelligently, giving him the right tools to defend himself, regenerate, and function better, especially after 50. This kind of approach turns food into care. More than just satisfying hunger, the right foods help rebuild internal balance, relieve inflammation, and restore the vitality that time insists on taking away. Aging is inevitable, but aging with pain, constant fatigue, and physical limitations does not have to be the rule. Modern science and observation of long-lived cultures around the world show that it is possible to age with autonomy, energy, and lightness, as long as lifestyle is our ally. But what does it really mean, have a healthy and anti-aging lifestyle? This concept goes beyond simply eating well or exercising. It involves a series of conscious decisions which, together, help the body maintain its functions, repair cellular damage, preserve muscles, and reduce silent inflammation that accelerates the natural wear and tear of tissues. For example, include foods rich in antioxidants, such as pumpkin seeds and quinoa, help fight free radicals, unstable molecules that cause premature aging and are linked to joint degradation. Maintaining a routine of daily movement is also essential. This does not mean running marathons, but rather adopting the habit of walking, stretching, dancing, or doing some light and regular activity that stimulates circulation and protects joints from stiffness. Another key point is the I am a repairman. During deep rest, the body releases hormones responsible for cell regeneration, including in connective and muscle tissues. Functional foods, such as tofu and chickpeas, indirectly contribute to this process, as they help in the production of serotonin and melatonin, natural regulators of the sleep cycle. And of course, we can't forget the stress management. Constant emotional tension releases cortisol, a hormone that, when chronically elevated, contributes to systemic inflammation and accelerates aging. Strategies such as deep breathing, meditation, and a balanced diet help keep this hormone under control. In other words, living longer and better does not depend on luck. It depends on consistent habits and conscious choices who treat the body with respect and give it the right tools to remain strong, flexible, and functional as the years go by. Many people believe that as they age, they lose control over their bodies, as if pain, limited movement, and continued use of medications were inevitable consequences of aging. But this narrative needs to change. There's a silent power in the small, everyday decisions, and one of the most impactful is precisely what we put on our plates. Food has the power to restore autonomy. This is because the foods we consume directly influence our energy, our mobility, our mood, and even the intensity of the pain we feel. By making conscious choices, we begin to move away from a passive stance towards illness and take on the role of protagonists of our health. For example, including lentils, tofu, or chickpeas in regular meals is not just a substitution of ingredients. It is an act of self-care. These foods contain compounds such as magnesium, complete plant proteins, fiber, and phytochemicals, which act to strengthen muscles, reduce joint inflammation, and help the body recover. A quinoa, rich in essential amino acids, helps preserve lean mass, which is crucial for maintaining balance and preventing falls. Pumpkin seeds provide zinc and antioxidants, which help the body fight silent cellular aggressions that, over time, cause pain and stiffness. More than a diet, we are talking about a lifestyle based on conscious choices, in which each meal becomes a tool for physical and emotional strengthening. This type of decision has a profound psychological effect. It generates confidence, raises self-esteem, and gives the feeling that, yes, it is possible to take care of yourself, even when faced with a diagnosis like arthritis. Autonomy is not just being able to walk or climb stairs without help. It is the feeling that you have control over your own well-being. And that starts with the simple act of choosing foods that take care of you from the inside out. For a long time, lentils were seen as a cheap substitute for beans or as a simple side dish for holiday meals. But what few people know is that this small grain contains one of the highest concentrations of functional nutrients when it comes to joint health, especially for those who live with arthritis or chronic joint pain. Rich in vegetable proteins, lentils provide the body with the necessary building blocks to muscle maintenance and regeneration. This is crucial for those over 50, as stronger muscles take the pressure off your joints, reducing pain and making it easier to do things like climb stairs or get out of bed. But the benefit goes far beyond protein. Lentils are an excellent source of magnesium, an essential mineral for muscle relaxation and inflammation control. People with arthritis often have low levels of this nutrient, which worsens stiffness and joint pain. Including lentils in your diet is a natural way to restore this balance. Another difference is its high potassium content, which helps eliminate excess sodium from the body, one of the causes of swelling and fluid retention in inflamed joints. More potassium, less swelling, more relief. Additionally, lentils are rich in soluble fibers, which help stabilize blood sugar levels. This is an important detail. Constant spikes in blood sugar increase the production of inflammatory substances in the body. Keeping blood sugar levels stable is an indirect but powerful way to control inflammation. Easy to prepare, affordable, and incredibly versatile, lentils can be used in soups, salads, stir-fries, and even vegetable burgers. They don't need long cooking times or pre-soaking like other grains. In less than 30 minutes, you have a functional meal on your plate. You may have never paid much attention to this grain, but after today, it can become one of your best allies in combating pain and restoring your mobility. You've probably come across it in salads, soups, or that creamy spread called hummus. But what you may not know yet is that chickpea is much more than a versatile ingredient in Mediterranean cuisine. It is a true natural inflammation fighter, especially effective for those living with arthritis. Like lentils, chickpeas are a valuable source of vegetable protein, essential for keeping muscles active and strong. This is essential to relieve strain on joints. But its power goes further. It is rich in polyphenols, antioxidant compounds that help the body neutralize free radicals. unstable molecules that damage cells and intensify inflammation. A study published in 2020 by the journal Nutrients showed that diets rich in polyphenols are directly associated with the reduction of inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein, common in people with rheumatoid arthritis. Another highlight is the significant presence of vitamin C, which participates in the collagen formation, the tissue responsible for joint flexibility and protection between bones. When collagen is low, pain, wear, and stiffness occur. Eating chickpeas regularly helps the body maintain this structure. Additionally, chickpeas are loaded with soluble fibers, which promote the balance of intestinal flora, a point that is increasingly studied when it comes to chronic inflammation. A healthy intestine is capable of reducing intestinal permeability, preventing toxins from entering the bloodstream and aggravating joint pain. Want another reason to include it in your routine? It is very satisfying. This means it helps control appetite and body weight, reducing strain on the knees, ankles, and hips. And the best part, it's easy to prepare, economical, and goes well with a variety of seasonings. You can bake it as a snack, use it in curries, stews, pie crusts, or even in healthy versions of sweets. Chickpeas are small, but their impact is enormous, a true ally for those who want to live with less pain and more freedom. If you've ever turned up your nose at the idea of tofu, it's time to take a fresh look at it. This smooth protein made from soybeans may seem bland at first glance, but behind its simplicity lies a real treat. Functional benefits package for those who suffer from arthritis or are looking for a more active and pain-free life. Tofu is one of the few plant-based sources of complete protein. That is, it contains all 9 essential amino acids that the human body needs but cannot produce on its own. This is essential for tissue regeneration, muscle strengthening, and joint protection, especially in people over 50, when lean mass loss naturally accelerates. Furthermore, it is an excellent source of calcium and vitamin D, 2 essential nutrients for bone health. The combination of these 2 elements improves bone mineral density, reduces the risk of fractures, and relieves stress on the most stressed joints, such as the knees, hips, and spine. But tofu goes even further. It contains isoflavones, bioactive compounds in soy, that have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Studies show that isoflavones can help reduce morning stiffness and improve flexibility in people with rheumatoid arthritis. They also act as natural hormone modulators, especially useful during menopause, when the drop in estrogen promotes joint inflammation. Another strong point of tofu is its versatility in the kitchen. It can be grilled, sautéed, baked, used in stuffings, soups, smoothies, and even desserts. When well seasoned, it absorbs the flavors of the surrounding ingredients, becoming a perfect neutral base for creative and functional dishes. And last but not least, it is a light food, easy to digest and accessible, found in regular supermarkets, fairs, and health food stores. Including tofu in your diet is more than a culinary choice. It's a strategic decision to strengthen bones, protect joints, and nourish the body in a complete and intelligent way. Have you ever heard of quinoa? This delicate-looking grain, native to the Andes Mountains, is a true nutritional treasure hidden on supermarket shelves. For many years, it was the basis of the diet of entire civilizations, such as the Incas. Today, science proves what ancient people already knew. Quinoa is one of nature's most complete foods. And for those who live with joint pain or want to age with more energy, it is a powerful ally. Quinoa is considered a complete vegetable protein. That is, it provides all the essential amino acids that the body needs to build and repair tissues. This makes it an excellent alternative for those who are reducing their meat consumption, but do not want to give up muscle strength, which is so important for supporting joints and preventing injuries. It is also rich in iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc, minerals that help form strong bones, control inflammation, and maintain the immune system. Magnesium, for example, is essential to avoid involuntary muscle contractions, relax the muscles, and help relieve stiffness. Another relevant benefit of quinoa is its indirect anti-inflammatory action. Because it is a complex source of carbohydrates with a high fiber content, it prevents spikes in blood glucose, which are directly related to the release of inflammatory substances in the body. Keeping sugar levels stable is an important step for those looking to reduce the discomfort of arthritis. Furthermore, quinoa is gluten-free, easy to digest, and extremely versatile, can replace rice, become a base for cold salads, baked dumplings, or even be used in sweet recipes, such as porridge and healthy pancakes. In other words, it is more than just a grain. It is a powerful tool for those who want to strengthen their body, improve mobility, and reduce the symptoms of inflammation naturally and efficiently. They are often discarded, forgotten when preparing pumpkin. But what many people ignore is that pumpkin seeds carry one of the greatest nutritional potentials when we talk about prevention and relief of joint pain, especially in people over 50 years of age. Small in size, these seeds are true essential mineral concentrates, as zinc, magnesium, iron, and phosphorus, all essential for the proper functioning of muscles, bones, and the immune system. Zinc, for example, plays a direct role in regulating the inflammatory response. It helps the body fight chronic inflammatory processes that affect the joints, and also contributes to the regeneration of damaged tissues. A deficiency in this mineral can aggravate arthritis symptoms and compromise muscle recovery after physical exertion. Already, the magnesium acts as a natural muscle relaxant, relieving tension, cramps, and stiffness. Common symptoms in people with rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis. It also helps improve sleep quality, a factor that directly influences the sensation of pain throughout the day. Furthermore, these seeds are rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory fatty acids, such as omega-9. These compounds reduce the action of free radicals and protect joints against premature wear and tear. Another little talked about difference is the presence of tryptophan, an amino acid that helps in the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter of well-being. When we are in a more balanced mood and sleep better, the perception of pain decreases. In other words, the benefits go beyond the physical. They also affect the emotional. And the best part, they are extremely easy to use. You can add them to salads, smoothies, yogurts, whole grain cakes, or simply eat them on toast as a healthy snack. Including pumpkin seeds in your routine is a practical, economical, and tasty way to strengthen your joint health and protect yourself against the progression of pain and limitation. Sometimes the best solutions come from the smallest details, and these little seeds are living proof of that. Aging with quality does not mean avoiding the marks of time, but rather learning to walk with them, with more awareness, more care, and more wisdom. Throughout this video, you discovered 5 simple foods, affordable and functional products that carry extraordinary potential to improve your joint health: lentils, chickpeas, tofu, quinoa, and pumpkin seeds. They are not imported superfoods or miracle promises. They're real choices which can be done every day and which can completely change the way you feel about your body. Each of these ingredients works in a complementary way. They provide high-quality protein, combat silent inflammation, strengthen bones and muscles, balance hormones, and even help prevent diseases that limit mobility. These are small acts, like choosing what to eat for lunch or dinner, that added together over time turn into big changes. You don't have to change your entire routine at once. Just get started. Start including lentils in your weekly soups. Swap refined rice for quinoa every now and then. Add pumpkin seeds to your salad. Use tofu as the base of a light meal. Try chickpeas in new ways. Observe how your body responds. Give him a chance to breathe with less pain and more ease. The real revolution in health doesn't start in hospitals or pharmacies. It starts in your kitchen, in your choices, and in the way you take care of yourself. Life after 50 can indeed be active, vibrant, and full of possibilities. But this requires conscious decisions, and the first step may be closer than you think: on your plate. If this content made sense to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, Every meal is a new opportunity to build a stronger body, a clearer mind, and a life with less pain. Because health can also be cooked.